Week 6 power rankings are coming at you right now. But if you are brand new to me, very first time seeing me, hit that subscribe button because it only takes 2 seconds. But let's get into it. Before I do mention my number 10 team, I do want to mention 2 teams real quick. The San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos will not be in my top 10. Yes, you could absolutely make a case for them to be in the top 10 power rankings. The Broncos just beat the Eagles, and the 49ers, who are completely decimated at every position, just beat the Rams on the road. They're 4-1, the Broncos are 3-2, and like I said, you could absolutely make a case for them to be top 10. If you do think they are, or you do think they should be, let me know down in the comments. But just for now, I do think these top 10 teams are just a little bit better than them. But let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, very first time they're in my power rankings this year, will be the New England Patriots. They are currently sitting at 3-2, which they just beat the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football in a very sloppy game, but winning on the road against the Buffalo Bills, who were currently undefeated, now they're 4-1, is really impressive. Drake May played pretty good in this game. He didn't get a touchdown in this game, but he also didn't create a turnover. But this year so far, he has 7 passing touchdowns. He has only 2 picks on the year with just about 1,200 passing yards. He's been playing pretty good. And this Patriots team, they lost the very first game against the Raiders, which they deserved that loss. But they also lost against the Steelers, which if they didn't turn over the ball and fumble the ball like 3 or 4 times in that game, they could have beaten the Steelers and they could be sitting at 4-1. This team has been looking really good. The defense is creating turnovers. Again, the offense has their issues here and there, but Stephon Diggs has been completely balling out the last couple of games. The Patriots are definitely scary. Yeah, like I said, they deserve to be in the top 10 after beating the Bills on the road. But let's get into number 9. Dropping down 5 spots this week in my power rankings will be the Los Angeles Chargers, sitting at number 9. They lost their last 2 games. They just lost against the Giants and also just lost against the Commanders this week. This offense has not been looking good for the last couple of weeks. Justin Herbert cannot get the ball down the field. He's getting sacked a lot due to Joe Alt, and the Rashawn Slater injuries are catching up. And now you got Omarion Hampton, their running back. He's on IR. This Chargers offense is looking a little sad. Justin Herbert got sacked 4 times against Commanders. He had 166 yards and 1 touchdown. He threw an interception as well. Trey Lance came in the game a little bit. He had 44 yards on 3 completions. Like I said, Omarion Hampton had 12 carries for 44 yards. The run game was pretty good in this game against the Commanders, which the Commanders are not known for their defense. But again, the Chargers, they started off 3-0, coming out really hot. But then these 2 games against the Giants and the Commanders have looked really shaky. They've been beat up, like I said, injuries all over the place with Khalil Mack, and like I said, offensive line. And now Omarion Hampton is going to be on the IR. Chargers, you're nothing to worry about too much yet, but if it's next week and your offense is still looking like this, yeah, let's be concerned. But let's go on to number 8. Sitting at number 8 and now in my power rankings, jumping back into my top 10 will be the Commanders, who I just talked about. I thought Jayden Daniels did pretty good in his comeback game. He had 15 completions for 26 attempts, 231 yards and a touchdown. He only got sacked 1 time, but the key guy in his offense was Jacory Croskett-Moret, which I think his name is Bill or something like that, his nickname. 14 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Commanders are missing a couple of key pieces of the game, including Terry McLaurin and a couple other players. And going on the road against a tough Chargers team, even though, like I said, they just mentioned they're struggling, they're still a tough team on the road. Coming out, you needed to really win this game because you just lost your last game against the Falcons. They're sitting at 3-2. Like I said, they're going to get some key players back here very soon, but they're looking really good again. Their offense is clicking now since Jayden Daniels is back. Nothing to worry about for Commanders fans as well. Like I said, you're getting the key players again very soon. But let's go to number 7. In a great game last night on Monday Night Football, the Jacksonville Jaguars are moving up 3 spots in my power rankings, going from number 10 to number 7. This game was literally back and forth the whole time. You know, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes throwing a pick 6 late in that fourth quarter, this game could be over and the Chiefs could have won. But guess what? The Jags are sitting at 4-1. They're beating the 49ers. They're beating now the Chiefs. You got to give them a lot of credit here. Trevor Lawrence had an okay game. He had 221 yards passing, a touchdown, and an interception. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game, which it wasn't for the last 30 seconds where he tripped. And I don't know how he actually ended up getting up and going in for the touchdown. That was pretty insane. But you got to give the Jags credit here, man. If you don't have them in your top 10, you're kind of sleeping on them for sure. Their defense is creating a lot of turnovers. They're playing against really good teams. You got to give the Jags a lot of credit here. I really like where they're going. They do have a couple of hard teams coming up. They got the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams for the next couple games. So if they can go maybe 1-1 or even 2-0, they're going to completely be skyrocketing in these power rankings for sure. But Jags are sitting at 4-1 on the top of their division. They're looking really good. Let's go to number 6. Also moving up 3 spots from my power rankings last week is this team in the same division as the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got the Indianapolis Colts at 4-1. They just blew off the doors against the Las Vegas Raiders 40-6. This game was a complete blowout from the start. It was literally 40-3 going into fourth quarter. The Raiders are a hold on a joke, but we're talking about the Colts here. Daniel Jones is looking crazy. He had just about 200 yards in this game passing and 2 touchdowns, but so far he has 6 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions this year, which came against the Rams. His passing range is 105. And, you know, also the running back, Jonathan Taylor, has been completely balling out. He's probably going to be one of the best running backs in the league this year. This offense is blowing out teams. They're scoring more than 30 points. And I think in every game this year, the defense is creating a lot of turnovers. The Jags and the Colts were 2 teams where I really didn't expect it to be too good. Colts for sure, I didn't expect them to be good at all. But the Jags, I thought they're going to be at least a 500 team coming into this year. Man, they proved me wrong for sure so far. Like you got Tyler Warren playing pretty good. You got Michael Pittman playing pretty good. Your defense creating turnovers. Man, I just stuttered a lot right there. But this Colts team is balling out. Again, if you don't have them in your top 7, you're kind of sleeping on this team as well. Just like I mentioned with the Jags. I'm so shocked by the Colts this year. I don't know how long it's going to last. They play against the Chargers in a couple of weeks. I forgot who they play next week. It's the Cardinals, by the way. I just remembered. They should beat the Cardinals. They should be 5-1. Going against the Chargers in a couple of weeks should be a really good game. But again, you got to give the Colts credit here. Going on number 5. Staying in the exact same spot as last week, coming off a bye week, will be the Green Bay Packers. You can't say too much here because, again, they just came off a bye week, but they should be a lot healthier. The offensive line, Zach Tom and Aaron Banks should be coming back. They're playing against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are just traded for Joe Flacco, by the way. That should be interesting. This Bengals team is a whole nother disaster too, just like the Raiders. But the Packers, we can't really move them too much because they didn't play last week. But they are getting key people back, like I just mentioned. So you can't really say too much. Number 4. Moving up a couple of spots from number 6 to number 4 will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Seattle Seahawks in a freaking shootout. Every single Buccaneers game has been super close. I think every one of their wins has been by 3 points or less. So that's a lot of anxiety right there. I cannot feel you for you guys at all. But Baker Mayfield threw 379 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Seahawks. He only got sacked 1 time. Rashad White had a nice little game with 2 touchdowns and 41 yards. But the player to be talking about on this Bucs offense is Emeka Egbuka, the offensive rookie of the year, 100%. I mean, he just had a touchdown in a 163-yard game against the Seahawks. And so far this year, he has 445 yards on 5 touchdowns in 5 games. He's on pace for 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. Now, he's on pace. So, again, that's a little inflated. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get over 1,000 yards and over 10 touchdowns. Again, he's got to be your offensive rookie of the year, 100%. He's amazing so far. This Bucs offense is amazing, period. Even with all their injuries like Mike Evans, you got Bucky Irvin out for a couple games, same with Mike Evans. The defense is a little shaky, is a little suspect for sure, but this offense will be carrying them, and that's why they're number 4, is because this offense is the best unit in football. Let's go on to number 3. The number 3 team, the first time they're here this year in my power rankings, will be the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right. They're not my number 1 team anymore. The thing saying, until they lose, you gotta prove me otherwise. And if they're gonna be out of the top 1, guess what? They proved me otherwise because you got them at number 3 here. The defense has been playing great. They gave up a 17-point lead, we're winning 17-3 in the 4th quarter against the Broncos. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, Broncos won against the Eagles. This offense for the Eagles, I don't even know what to say. I mean, Jalen Hurts in this game had 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did get sacked 6 times. This offensive line is still an above average unit, but not as good as they used to be. Saquon Barkley hasn't really done anything this year so far. He's starting to really worry me a lot. The first couple of games, I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. He'll get back into it. But it's, 5 games in, and he hasn't gotten the 100-yard game yet. I mean, he had 30 yards in this game. A.J. Dillon went 2 carries for 12 yards. Good for A.J. Dillon. But you got A.J. Brown creating a lot of issues over there. This Eagles team, they're sitting like a mess. Like, they're in a mess, but they're 4-1. It's so weird to be talking like that. But I don't know, man. It's looking a little shaky. Like I said, their offense is ranking in bottom 5 in almost every category, it feels like. And then the defense is doing really good. They're still a good team. They're still going to make the playoffs for the most part. Winning their division, we will see what the Commanders do and all that. But yeah, they got the Giants this week on Thursday Night Football. I think they will rebound back, and they could go back up to number 1 and number 2. But let's talk about the number 2 team. Staying in the exact same spot in my number 2 will be the Buffalo Bills. Like I mentioned earlier, they lost against the Patriots 23-20. This Bills offense definitely was not on their A game. If anything, they're on their D- game. They had 3 turnovers. They had fumbles here and there. The first half of this game was really boring. I mean, the Bills, again, no team's going to go undefeated, so you're going to lose somewhere along the lines. But yeah, I mean, the Bills definitely could have been blown out here if the Patriots scored a little bit more points. But yeah, of course, the Bills are still going to be a really good team, just like I mentioned with the Eagles. They lost their first game just like the Eagles as well. But the Bills, they got nothing to worry about. Their division should be, well, actually, I wouldn't even say wrapped up, because you got the Patriots right behind them. But besides the Dolphins and the Jets, it's going to be either the Patriots or the Bills running for this division. And again, the Bills fans, nothing to worry about. Just relax. You're not going 17-0. Again, the defense still concerns me a little bit. They should be getting a couple people back. But the Bills, it's okay, guys. You're going to lose eventually, like I just mentioned. Let's mention the new number 1 team. And that's right, like I just said, the new number 1 team in my power rankings will be the Detroit Lions. Yes, I don't like it at all, but they are just blowing people out. They're 4-1. They blew out the Bears for the first game. They blew out the Ravens for the second game. They blew out the Browns for the third game. And they just completely manhandled the Bengals. They just won 37-24. The Bengals scored 21 points in garbage time, so I'm not even going to really consider that. But this Lions team is definitely back. Jared Goff only went 19 completions, 23 attempts for 258 yards and 3 touchdowns. The running game wasn't really doing anything on 33 carries for 118 yards. David Montgomery had the lone touchdown for the Lions offense. This offense, I don't know what happened in the Packers game, because they looked like a complete high school team. But then ever since the Packer game, they're just, like I said, they're blowing the doors. They scored 50 against the Bears, 40 against the Ravens. They just scored 37 against the Bengals. The Lions team absolutely deserves to be number 1, unfortunately, because as a Packer fan, yeah, I mean, they could be sitting here for a little bit. I mean, they play the Chiefs next week. That would be a really good game. I expect the Lions to win that game. Their defense, they're losing a couple of people. They got Terry and Arnold that might be week to week. I think DJ Reed got hurt. So their defense is a little concerning. Aiden Hutchinson has been balling out, though, so far. But again, the secondary is scaring me a little bit. Offense is going to carry them just like the Buccaneers earlier, like I mentioned. But That wraps up this video. If you do like it, hit that subscribe button because it only takes 2 seconds, like I mentioned beginning the video. Comment down below your biggest reaction, if you disagree, if you agree with me, etc. But I'm out of here. Deuces.